put the penguin on the camera so she looks. Aika, look. Look at the camera. Hey guys, what's up? Happy Thursday. So today's another Q&A video. Just like all the other Q&As, I'm gonna let YouTube filter the comment section. So I'm gonna go through and answer questions that I haven't answered already. And so yeah, let's just get started. First question, what does the town look like? The town as in where we're living now? I actually have several videos showing you little bits of the city when we're driving in to run errands and get food. So you'll just have to like watch some of my vlogs to see what it looks like. This showed up in the search for questions. It's like this massive rant about God, Jesus, and who knows what, but I'm not gonna read this whole thing. I just think it's really funny that someone posted this long novel on this video. It's on the How I See the US After Living in Europe. That video is like a magnet for crazy comments. Alright, next question. Your hair is really growing. How does it feel with your hair a bit longer? Is it making you crazy or are you happy with the length? I've answered this before, but I am growing my hair out just because I want to try something different. I've had a buzz cut for several years, so I want to see if I can grow it out and just see how long I can have it grow. It's not making me crazy yet, but it is getting into the awkward stage where it's going to be like in between lengths. So soon I might have to start wearing like a bandana or something to keep it all up there. That's what I did before when I grew my hair out, because I've had it like really short and long and back and forth through the years. Come on, when's the last time you got mugged in the States? Fortunately, I was never mugged in the States or anywhere. Not sure why they're asking me that, but whatever. Hey guys, it's sad how people try to monetize during this pandemic. I found this channel refreshing, lighthearted, and enjoyed it very much. I also thought that Lisa and Kuba were a really cool couple, but they are already being compensated by YouTube, and now they ask the public to pay subscription to their channel? How inconsiderate is this move during the worst global humanitarian crises? It is very real for the rest of us to live with this pandemic. Now it's the time to give, not take. So I guess technically there is a question in there. Yeah, on that video where I talk about setting up the channel memberships, I mean, I know y'all understand this, but I'm not like forcing you guys to pay. The videos are always going to be free. The membership thing is just like, it's supposed to be if you like want to give us $4.99 a month because you really appreciate our videos and what I'm doing, then you can do that, and then I'll give you like written recipes, we'll do live Q&As, stuff like that. It's just supposed to be fun, so if those people want to give to us, then I will take it. But it's not mandatory, and we're not like begging for money or whatever. I've been following your channel for a few months now, but haven't watched the tiny house build. So impressed and love watching how it's progressing. Is Kuba a builder by trade, or are you learning as you go? Kuba is not a builder by trade. He learned everything about building a tiny house from YouTube and Google. Just researching online. Yeah, he's built like smaller things before, like he's very handy with tools because he worked as a mechanic, but he's never built something like a house before. So this is his first house. Oh, the same person also asks, did you need planning permission to build this tiny house? I definitely covered this in other videos. I'm pretty sure it's in like the few videos where we came to visit the land and like we met up with Bartik to do all the paperwork and stuff. Oh, another question about my hair. Are you growing your hair back as it really suits you very short? Someone replied saying that she talks about it in one of her videos. Also, she looks beautiful either way, in my opinion, and what really counts is her feeling fine with whatever hair. Why do some people need an opinion about these personal things, and hair is personal? I don't really care if you guys like me better with short hair or long hair or whatever. I don't really need to be told anything about your preferences regarding my hair. It's cool if you're like, oh, your hair looks awesome. Okay, fine. But you preferring me with shorter hair or longer hair, that's not going to influence how I deal with my hair. Because really, I'll get people on both sides where they're like, oh, I wish you'd grow your hair long again. It looks so good. And then other people are like, no, you need to keep it short. It looks better. I just don't even care about those comments because I'm just like, whatever, it's my hair. I'm going to do whatever I want. Which mask do you prefer? The mask that ties in the back of your head or the mask that goes around your ears? And she says, we haven't been able to find any masks here in San Francisco. Also, she asks, have you thought about making a mask for ICA? That would be cute. I don't know if she would keep it on, though. I think the one where you tie it behind your head is more comfortable than the one that goes over your ears. But the one that goes over the ears seems to be more snug. But I have both kinds, so I'll just wear them both when you go into town. Because starting today, everyone in Poland has to wear a mask when they're out in public. So we will definitely be doing that. Yeah, as far as making a mask for Aika, I don't really see the point in that. She doesn't really need to be wearing one because as far as I know, dogs aren't at risk of catching anything. I think there was one dog who became ill, as far as I know. But I don't think it's like a cause for concern. Why did you buy masks for your trip to India? I've been there many times and have never worn a mask or heard of anyone wearing one. I'm really curious why you would have them. Did you actually use them? In New Delhi and Agra, the air was terrible, especially in Agra at the time that we were there. I think it was mid-February, that's when we were visiting. Before we went to India, the worst air pollution I experienced was in Krakow. Krakow in the winter, the pollution is terrible. You can taste it, you can see it, you can just feel it on your skin. We bought the masks in Krakow because so many people wear them there. You can just buy them in the shop. The air in Agra was way worse than anything in Krakow. Like, you have to actually be there to experience it. It didn't affect me that much because I take asthma medication every day, but Kuba was suffering so much in Agra where he actually felt ill, like he had a fever because the pollution was so thick. And so we would sleep with our masks on just because we couldn't breathe. That was like the worst part of the trip, was just dealing with the air pollution there. Not every city in India is heavily polluted like that. Udaipur was totally fine, didn't notice anything with the air. It was nice and clear. Jaipur, that wasn't so bad either, but you could definitely feel it in the air when you were walking around, especially if we went up to this fort behind the hotel we were staying at. So if you're going up to higher elevations, it was like harder to breathe just because of the pollution there. New Delhi wasn't that bad, but it definitely was thicker than anything I experienced in Krakow, and Agra was the absolute worst. So there were plenty of people there wearing masks. Maybe it just depends on where you visit in India, but New Delhi and Agra, the pollution there was terrible. When we were flying into New Delhi, it was such a thick fog, and like, I didn't know if that was just fog or what, but it was actually air pollution, like you could not see outside the window. That being said, I wouldn't let that stop you from visiting India or visiting those cities. Like if you have like asthma or allergies or something, definitely take your medication or like an inhaler, because I gave Kuba some of my medicine because he just couldn't breathe and it actually helped him. So if I wasn't taking that medicine, like I don't know how I would have survived that trip, especially in Agra. All right, next question. At what temperature do you bake them? This is on my crispy baked oil-free tofu video, and it's weird because this question is asked often on that video, and it happens so often that I think I will just pin a comment on that video so everyone knows what temperature to bake them at. But it's seriously in the beginning of the video I say straight up, you bake them at 220 Celsius. That recipe is really good, but we just haven't had tofu in a while because here it only comes in these like shrink-wrapped things. And in Krakow, we could buy it in bulk from the Asian shop, but there are no Asian shops around here and no bulk tofu, unfortunately. Do you have any recommendations for people visiting Poland, like how to get good internet, especially if you are not staying in hotels or big cities, but rather traveling through the countryside? We've only used Play, so I assume you could get some like tourist SIM card from them. Maybe for like a week or 2 weeks or something like that. But I don't really know. But I do know that with Play, the reception is always good. No matter where we are, it's good. Even when we were in Biszczady, we still got cell reception there. Not everywhere. Like in some of the hostels, it was really patchy. But on all the hikes that we did, we would get reception. So I recommend looking into Play. If anyone else has any better recommendations, let them know in the comments, please. What's your favorite color and season? I really like purple lately, as maybe you can tell with my hoodie and the one blanket and my little like Crocs or whatever, those are purple. Yellow and orange are very happy colors to me, so I really like them. Favorite season, maybe the time in between spring and summer, because some summers are like super hot. Like I need sunshine, so I would have to say summer. What does Aika's name mean, please? Forgive this ignorant American. We didn't choose her name. That was just her name at the shelter, so we kept it. Since people have asked before, I have Googled Ica. It's the name of a city in Hungary with about 35,000 inhabitants. And there's also a film named Ica. So maybe someone at the shelter named Ica after the city or that film, we don't really know. It's an onion question. Are they pearl onions or baby yellow onions that will eventually grow bigger? Those little onions, those are just like the baby version, so those are supposed to grow larger. At least that's what I hope, because I just picked up a bag of them. So hopefully they do grow larger. Hey Lisa, how did you both learn how to build a tiny house? Again, that was all learned through YouTube and Google. Kuba primarily did all the research, researching that in videos and reading stuff on Google. Like projects, basically, like how to do the roof trusses, the insulation, the foundation, stuff like that. It wasn't like he went to one source, like how to build a tiny house and there was like a book or something. He looked at a bunch of different sources. But there's so much on YouTube, like you can seriously learn how to do anything on YouTube. Just ask your question into Google or YouTube and you will get all the information you need. Someone's asking, would you consider eating petri dish grown meat? Definitely not. How do you know when food expires that you've transferred to glass jars? The stuff that I keep in the glass jars, those are things like spices, herbs, sugar, salt, flour. We go through those things quickly. There isn't a need to worry about when they expire. But also, I don't believe there can really be an expiration date on like black pepper or curry powder. They might not be as flavorful, or they might be a little stale if they've been sitting up there for a year. But it's not like it's going to be harmful to me to eat basil that's been sitting there for 2 years. That's not going to happen because we go through it so quickly. I don't even worry about expiration dates on food because we honestly go through all of this quickly. Having a mask is mandatory? Seriously? What has happened to civil liberties? What's your take on the mandatory vaccine that they are threatening everyone will have to take? I don't mind that masks are mandatory now. I think it's smart to make everyone wear a mask. There is no mandatory vaccine here. They're not going to force us to take one. But if there was a vaccine for it, I would definitely take it, and I wouldn't think twice about that. Do you follow any Americans living in Poland or generally Europe? I don't watch that much YouTube, actually, because I don't have the time. So I am making videos for YouTube, but me watching YouTube, I subscribe to many channels, but I really don't watch their videos that often. Yeah, I don't watch anyone else who's living in Poland. Or any other Americans living in Europe, actually. Nope. So Joanna's asking me about why we don't go out to eat at restaurants. Is it because it's too expensive? Or maybe in the place where we live, there aren't many options for vegan food? Yeah, the main reason is just that we don't want to spend the money on eating out at restaurants if I can just make the food at home. When you look at the price of food when you go to a restaurant, you pay a lot of money for a small portion, and we want big portions, so I would rather just make the food at home for a fraction of the price, and then I can make it exactly the way we want. When we do travel, we will eat out here and there. I view that more like a special occasion type of thing. When we were in India, we ate out all the time. When we were in Marrakesh, it just depends where we are. And like really here, there's like one cafe that we've gone to that has like a vegan cake or something like that. Maybe it would be different if we lived in a larger city, but even when we were in Krakow, the only time we would go out to eat was going to Zachin, a vegan bakery. And that's because getting those vegan pastries, that's not something that I could make at home easily. And then we'd go out to get coffee and stuff too, because there was a cafe there, Kavalerica, that we really liked. But besides that, we just would rather eat at home because we just prefer the food. But in places like in India, Morocco, Greece, when we were in Athens, we went out to eat too. had really good falafel there. We would eat out in those situations just because the food is like, it's part of the experience of visiting those places, and I like to try foods when I'm traveling. But really the main thing is that I want to have as much food as I can for the cheapest price. And the food I make at home, I feel like it's better food than what we can get at a restaurant. But like when we were in a place like Marrakesh, obviously I'm not going to be able to cook up a whole like Moroccan meal at home. Not yet anyways, so we totally indulged when we were traveling. But that food was so good there. Did your comment section improve after closing it for a while? It has improved in the sense that I am now blocking people regularly. So the comment section there's going to be less negativity in the comment section. So when I turned the comments back on, I did go through and block all of the regular offenders, all of the people who are just posting negativity on every single one of my videos. I just went through and blocked all of them. And of course, I'm not going to block you just because you disagree with me, but if you're posting things that are just completely derogatory, hateful, homophobic, stuff like that, I don't want to see that, and I don't think viewers should see that either, so I just block them. And some people I will give them, like, 2 or 3 chances. There are certain keywords that YouTube picks up on, like racial slurs, profanity, stuff like that. Then I will decide if I want to block that person or not. Because for someone to be classified as a troll that's worth blocking, they have to do it repeatedly, several times, just pushing negativity, and then I just block them. It's strange that some people will watch my videos every single day just to say some shit. For those people, I just block them and just move on. So now I don't have to see those comments. I don't want to just turn them off completely, so I do have to go through and filter them. But now it's just, I'm just used to going through them during the day and then blocking people if they're complete dicks. Are you familiar with permaculture and specifically the Ruth Stout method? I think you'd find it very useful and helpful. Lots of people have been throwing that word around, permaculture, since I started the square foot garden. I have heard of it. I will look into it. And maybe when we do additional garden stuff, I can apply some of those methods, so thanks for the recommendation. Alright, this will be the last question for today. Do people in states really need a guidebook to plant a handful of seeds, and they want to compete with China for global leadership? Ha ha ha, come on. Yeah, I mean, you don't need that square foot gardening book to plant seeds, obviously, but that is one method of gardening. So, since I'm a complete newbie at gardening, I got a book so I can read about it. I don't know why they're bringing up China, but whatever. I guess that's it. Thanks for all of your questions. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any more questions and I will answer them in next week's Q&A, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm sweaty now. Yeah, it's in the frame. Like, the fuck is happening? She's funny. I caught the penguin.